In the United States, we have due process. We are innocent until proven guilty. That is a good thing. That is not something I would ever seek to change or violate or argue against. But as a program that is just based on my opinion on things, sometimes I give you my opinion of people's behavior. And sometimes people's behavior is not indicative of them being innocent. Now, courts adjudicate guilt versus lack of guilt. They don't adjudicate innocence. And that is the standard that applies in courts. Donald Trump's behavior continues colloquially without violating anyone's due process, without saying Trump should be charged or convicted of any crime, just observing his behavior as a human. It is not the behavior of an innocent person. And we are now learning about Donald Trump's latest attempt to block January 6th investigators from getting access to information about what the hell he was up to in the days leading up to and during the Trump riots. There's a very interesting Politico article. And even actually, the article is called "Trump Makes and Loses Overnight Bid to Block January 6th Investigators." Ron Filipkowski, who's doing a great job covering this stuff, tweeted this morning, "In an odd move late last night, Trump filed an emergency motion to block documents from the National Archives from being turned over to congressional investigators this Friday." Odd, because the judge hasn't even ruled yet on his previous objection. This is not the behavior of an innocent person or someone with nothing to hide. Going to the Politico article, if you blinked, you missed it. Former President Trump filed an emergency request to a federal judge late Monday night, last night, to prevent the National Archives from sending sensitive records to the January 6th committee investigators by Friday. And just after midnight, Judge Tanya Chutkan rejected it, contending the request itself was legally defective and premature. Not shocking after the 4 years we had of Trump's, the people around Trump making invalid legal arguments in various courts, that it is continuing. The unusual exchange happened in a span of 2 hours, and it came as Chutkan is already considering an earlier request by Trump to prevent Congress from peering into his White House's records about his attempt to overturn the 2020 election. Trump sued to block the archives from turning the records over last month after Joe Biden declined to assert executive privilege on his behalf. We covered that at the time. The archives indicate it would turn the papers over to lawmakers by Friday unless a court intervened. Chutkan heard arguments in the suit last week, promised to rule quickly on the initial emergency request from Trump. She seemed inclined to reject it, questioning the legal basis for a former president to claim executive privilege over records when the sitting president and Congress disagree. The archives indicated Trump is seeking to block at least 750 pages out of an initial 1,500 unearthed in response to the January 6th committee's request for records about Trump's attempt to overturn the election. Many of the papers are culled from the files of senior Trump aides like Mark Meadows, Stephen Miller, and Patrick Philbin. They also include, this is important, call and visitor logs. Who was Trump speaking to in the days leading up to leaving office and leading up to the Trump riots? And who was visiting Trump at the White House in those same important days? Trump's attorney, Jesse Binnall, issued his second request Monday night, asking Chutkan to approve an administrative stay of her own ruling even before she issued it. That way, Binnall argued, Trump would have a chance to appeal her decision before the archives began delivering hundreds of pages to congressional investigators. So again, Trump hasn't been charged with any crimes. I'm not saying he should be. I'm not saying that any jury should rule anyway. Every time we do this, I get emails from right wingers saying, David, don't you believe in due process? Don't you believe until innocent, until proven guilty? Not only do I believe in those things, my belief in those things is irrelevant to the fact that that is the system we have in the justice system. This is not the justice system here. This is not about guilt or innocence. This is about Donald Trump's attempt to block records from being given to the committee. And it is not, colloquially speaking, my opinion and that of many in my audience from the emails I'm getting, this is not the behavior of an innocent person. This is not the behavior of someone with nothing to hide. So we are going to continue to follow this, and we will see if and when these documents ultimately get to the January 6th commission, what they uncover. Now, as a reminder, much like with the debate about Trump's tax records and the legal wrangling around it, this is about the release of these documents to the January 6th committee. It is not about their public release. So it's not like if the judge says we're not stopping it, we get access to these documents. We might if they leak or are subsequently released, but it is at least in the immediate just about releasing these documents to those investigating the January 6th riots. Just a reminder, they might leak. I would not encourage that leaking, but if they leaked, I would certainly look at them. Let's put it that way. One of our sponsors is Kamikoto, making elegant, high-end, beautiful Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Honshu, Japan. I've been a big fan of Japanese kitchen knives for a long time. They have some great advantages. When you look closely at a Kamikoto knife, you see the quality of the ironwork. They only use Japanese steel. Every knife comes in a perfect heavy-duty ash wood box, makes storage really easy. It looks great in your kitchen or drawer. The balance of the knives is just amazing. I've been using them for everything. Every knife comes with a lifetime guarantee. On their website, you can see the complete list of chefs at Michelin star restaurants who use Kamikoto. And through this partnership they're doing with us, Kamikoto is giving you $50 off on top of their other special offers. Just go to kamikoto.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for $50 off. The link is down below.